Anyway, sorry a couple of minutes late, but I've had a lot on my plate today, this whole week with training, some new stuff I'll be coming out with soon. So that'll be another time when I'm live. But tonight, I wanted to go over some, you know, still broke after doing everything right. Here's the truth they don't want you to really know. You work hard, you sacrifice, you do everything the way they told you to do. Still, but the money doesn't match your efforts at all. I found out why. And tonight I'm going to pull the curtain back a bit. Still broke after hustling? Hi, Dan Tree and Twerster, I think, and Julia. Thank you for joining. If you is everybody or anybody still broke after hustling? They told us hustle would pay off, right? So, why are so many people still broke, burned out, and barely just getting by? Hi, I'm Holly from Florida. I'm a mom, a grandmother who found myself in debt, unable to retire at the age of 70. That's frightening as heck. Hi, Phyllis. Thank you for joining. Mm. I'm going to go over quite a bit of facts tonight that are real facts that you may not even be aware of yet. Did you know that the US household debt just topped? Hang on a second. Somebody keeps trying to go on live with me. Did you know that the US household debt just topped $18 trillion, and seniors over 70 are the fastest growing group now in debt? That means someone in your family or nearby friends or whatever is drowning financially. I know I was at one point. So I started over in my 70s. I had debt, fear, no clear path, and all the work hard, quote unquote, advice wasn't really helping whatsoever. Let me pause for a second and share something that hit me hard recently. May do the same for you. The debt spiral that no one talks about. Hi, Burkhard. Yeah, it is. Wow. $18 trillion. Oh my gosh. But anyway, wait, there's more. But the debt spiral that no one talks about. Most people think debt means they did something wrong, right? I was in debt, you know, but I was told that, it's been designed this way. I, ex- but I didn't splurge. I didn't do any of that. But the debt uh, just kept rising on me. Not just me. When I say me, I'm one example out of millions. But what if I told you it was designed this way? And I was in debt because everything got more expensive except income. That went down, everything else went up. Yeah, it's money. Gas, groceries, rent, interest rates, mortgage, all up. Wages barely moved. That's not failure. That's a trap when you really look at the full picture. Yeah, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, Dan. Absolutely. It's a trap. Totally is. And I was stuck in it. Not just me. When I say I'm talking personal. Yes. However, I know so many, and when you take the amount of people in this world, a good portion of them are in the same boat, sadly to say. But until I found a new way to create income that didn't depend on hours or age, no age discrimination, that kind of thing. But I'm going to go into that. But however, I got a lot more facts I wanted to bring up. By the way, I'm looking up and down and all over because I'm on YouTube and Facebook. I mean, and TikTok this evening. Today, I'm sharing real numbers, strategies that work now, and how anyone can start rebuilding, even if in 2 hours a day only. Crisis in numbers, but first, some real stats. Breakdown. Some of it I have notes, so I don't want to misquote anything, but breakdown of current US household debt, $18 trillion, 61.7% of GDP, which is gross domestic product for those that may not know. Wow, that's terrible, Dan. Sorry to hear that. I was the one that got had the opposite way. But anyway, senior debt has grown 36% in 5 years. In the first, which is yeah, which the fastest is the people among 70 plus years of age. Credit card debt hit $1.18 trillion in the first quarter of 2025 this year. Student BNPL, which is buy now and pay later, debt rising, um, credit scores will soon drop dramatically. If your family is affected, comment, put a heart in the comments, um, so I can address any of your questions that you may be encountering now, or for yourself personally. Just a brief story on me. At 70, now I'm 73, but at 70, I had no savings. I had to sell a car, one of our cars, no retirement plan because it got sucked up in business and embezzlement from a partnership, unfortunately. But things happen. What are you going to do? And my husband had to go back to work at the age of 74, which is pretty sad, just to help sustain in this economy what's going on. Adults are struggling. Seniors are gasping now for air. Uh, Seriously, uh, families are overwhelmed by cost, as reported in the news. So tell me, where you're at? I'm listening. If anybody cares to share some of their story, that's fine. Oh, thank you, Dan. Definitely, thank you. I appreciate that. Some days it feels it, and some days it doesn't. It depends on the mood, right? But anyway, I'm glad you're good. That's a plus for you. You and your family. Hopefully, your family is as well. But so that's part of the story, but there's, oh God. So I'm going to debunk the work harder myth. Hard work didn't fix it. Definitely not. If hard work were the sole way you could be well off financially, wouldn't everybody be rich by now? Think about it, right? It's unbelievable. Oh, you're still a baby, Dan. But anyway, now it's time to really shift strategy and clarity, not hustle. Hustle doesn't solve anything except cause more stress and exhaustion on top of it. Risk reward. You're right. Definitely, Dan. But what is working now? Here's a breakdown. What works today? One, quick start system built for non-tech seniors, or any age for that matter, 100% profit, and no recruiting ever. No up or down line, and no overhead, and no monthly expenses whatsoever. 2 hours a day, some maybe three. Consistent action with copy, paste, and post. I mean, and training's all included. How hard is that to do? Um, so I never go into religion or politics because somebody's always going to disagree with me or agree. So I've being in real estate for 44 years, Dan, or Marsh, I think, for that long period of time. That was rule number one: do not discuss religion or politics. So I, I grew up that way, and you know what? It's safer. You can't get into an argument with anybody if you stay out of that arena. It's a lot easier and safer, by the way, too. But 100% profit and no recruiting ever. As I said, no up or down lines and no monthly overhead. Working a couple hours a day, mentorship and community. So that is amazing in itself. But here's some more real data I wanted to go over. Yeah, I thought so too, Dan. I learned that a long time ago, almost 50 years ago. So it's safe, even with family. I've watched family have disagreements on stuff like that and end up in a brawl and not talking for 6 months or so. How stupid, right? But anyway, so that to me was a safety feature. But real data, nearly 1 in 3 federal student loans that borrowers are at risk now of defaulting on payments as early as this July, next week, as delinquency and default rates soar in the wake of pandemic era. Repayment relief is ending. That's over. That, when we went through that issue with COVID and everything, not issue, that pandemic, that's when there was relief given, but it's over in July, not far away. About 5.8 million federal student loan borrowers were 90 days or more past due on their payments as of April 2025, according to the new analysis from TransUnion. That's roughly 31% of borrowers with a payment due, up from 20.5% in February and nearly triple to the 11.7%. Those are insane numbers. Delinquency rate reported in February of 2020, just before the pandemic began. The April figure represents the highest delinquency rate ever recorded. Ever. Oh, it destroys credit. It's worse than a mortgage when you think about it. And it probably feels like 30 years, right? Mm, excuse me. Thirsty. I've had a long day today, training up the kazoo. Oh, I'm pooped. But anyway, but that April record represents the highest delinquency rate ever recorded. That's showing you where we're headed, where we're at. Not even headed, we're already there. And it's only going to build and escalate even more with over 200 million credit active consumers in the US, the 5.8 million affected borrowers make up only a small percentage, according to Joshua Turnbull, Senior Vice President and Head of Consumer Lending at TransUnion. Everybody's heard of TransUnion, right? They can make or break you for life. It's scary. Now kids to seniors use smart side hustles. Drop info. I'm going to follow. Oh, thank you. I'm Holly with an H, like for Christmas time. Thank you, Dan. But seriously, now kids to seniors, you are using smart side hustles for extra this, right? Incomes and job security is not there, right? It definitely isn't there. The job security, you can get canned at any point in time if you become a cost factor that the company no longer needs or wants anymore, right? Oh, that's okay, Dan. I've been called worse. No, I'm kidding. But that's okay. That's why I don't wear glasses except to read the fine print so I can read people's comments and respond. So I see it and I'm paying attention. I'm multitasking. I'm thinking, talking, creating, and answering questions as best as I can. So sometimes I miss somebody's and I apologize. But the print, when I do dual lives on YouTube and TikTok, that makes it harder to read the print on my iPhone for TikTok because it's easier for YouTube to use my iPad because it's horizontal, whereas TikTok is vertical. as far as for posting and so forth and so on. Um, Senior to senior, you got that right. But reality, though, uh, drop info. If you want the system that I follow, anybody, it's free to explore. That reminds me of something I realized in the 60s. Not all of you are from the 60s, but I was definitely. But we were told the American dream was possible for anyone who worked hard. That's what we were told in the 60s, but no one told us the cost of it. No one. Missed birthdays, skipped vacations, memories building with your family. I mean, yeah, but you were in diapers still. Uh, Stress that shows up in your health and your marriage. So many marriages crumble when it comes to financial stress, sadly to say, but it's reality. It's what's happening. Not, and this isn't something new. This has been going on for decades. When there's financial stress, it causes a lot more damage than you realize. Health can cause cancer when you stress so much, and it's overwhelming. But I believed as I was a kid growing up. What did I know? I was a kid, teeny bopper. I believed in that dream though, until it became a nightmare. The truth. If you don't design a life of freedom for yourself, the system will design one of exhaustion for you. That's reality. Does anybody at this moment have any questions? Uh, it's what happened to me. Oh, yeah, I got it on the other end. Usually the men get stuck with that, right? Nope, not me. I mean, I did. I didn't get any monetary or anything. It cost me, unfortunately. And in the long run, the children suffer overall after the fact. It's terrible. But if anybody has a question for me, please feel free to ask so I can answer. And it's never too late for anyone at any age, even seniors. I'm living proof. I'm a senior. 73 ain't no spring chicken anymore. Absolutely not. I got tons of wisdom, but I also got the bones that feel it at times because of as you get older. However, it beats the alternatives, right? And that's what I always tell myself. The I, but anyway, the calendar hack that saved me. Before this, I, I used to spend all day reacting to things, emails, bills, and stress. Seriously, I I owned multi offices in real estate in New York and New Jersey for decades. So you end up doing everything, overload even if you don't want to. No, that's horrible. Well, I hope you have a smoother life now, Dan. Seriously, it happens, unfortunately. We can't dwell in it. Got to move on. That's what I had to do and struggled to do such at 70, in my 70s. Hello. It's horrible. But anyway, that's what I used to do. I would react and respond to everything and let it take over and stress me out over and over. Now I follow a 2-hour calendar where I only do what brings me results. One, 1 hour I spend of learning. We're never too old to learn, and that's a good thing. I spend 1 hour in addition of action. No more guessing, just calm, clear steps. Two, the two questions that changed everything for me. Excuse me. I got my tickle in my throat every so often. Always when I talk too much, right? Oh well. I asked myself, is what I'm doing scalable? Multiple incomes and so forth, and letting it operate and run itself? And is it bringing in money today? That's what I asked myself. The answer was no back then. That's when I knew. I needed something different, something that didn't require me to work 8 hours for 80 bucks. I may be a little facetious with those numbers, but in reality, I am not that far off in a lot of cases. Seriously, the majority, I'm not that far off in. Uh, the $7 I'll never forget. My very, very first digital sale ever was $7. It wasn't about the amount of money. It was the proof that something finally did work. And I'm not talking affiliate marketing where 75% goes to upper echelon and you get the peanuts and you're doing all the work and you don't even own the product. That's even scarier. So that was sorry. I should have turned it off before I started my live. I apologize. And you know what happens when a spam calls? They call right back when you hang up on them. But anyway, that was my first experience of earning $7. And as I said, it wasn't a lot. However, but I realized it's something that I could do that works, doing it the way I was referring to. That $7 meant I could scale it. And today I help others now that turn hundreds a day with peace and not pressure because of what I learned and put two and two together to make it all effective and working properly and learning how to choose and pick. So I have the three bucket rule. My three bucket rule: one, learn; two, share; and three, earn. That's my three bucket rule. If a task doesn't fit into one of those buckets, I don't do it. Simple as that. Debt is, you know, debt right now is at record levels and hurting real people. The solution is strategy and simplicity. I mean, we're at an all-time high. I really honestly thought the last time we had all these problems back when the crash started in 2007, right? I knew it was going to happen again because history repeats itself. And if people don't learn from what took place, they're going to repeat the same thing over and over again. Example: mortgage lenders. Mickey Mouse could sign a document and get a loan. Simple, easy peasy. Then when they got real strict, I didn't care what your credit rating was. They went through every single document and they crisscrossed it, and you had to do something continuously to get approved. But guess what? Years go by, and now Donald Duck, not right now, but not too long ago, Donald Duck could get a loan because they gave too much ease once again. So I'm just using that as an example of history will repeat itself. And people, patterns. People are spending more now out of need, but don't have the income to sustain and carry it. That's even more frightening when you look at the full picture of everything. But anyway, you you don't have to work harder, but just smarter. Yeah, you can't save a sinking ship by rowing faster. I thought I just had to work harder to fix things, but rowing faster, it doesn't help if your boat has a hole in it, right? That was me, exhausted, trying to hustle my way out of a system that was never built for me to ever win, or anybody for that matter. That's reality. What I needed was more effort. It was, uh, uh, you know, it was a better boat. That's what I needed, not a one with a hole in it or one that like a sieve. And that's why I do what I do today. to help others find the better boat, so to speak. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fail, or I should say, you fall to the level of your systems. That was a quote by James Clear. That wasn't, I can't take credit for that quote. You don't have to chase people. You don't have to chase people. You don't need to be techie. Hey, I'm Wilma Flintstone. That is a guarantee. But now I could help people with tech stuff. I mean, I'm not a whiz, but I certainly know a lot more than I did not that long ago. Seriously. You, you just need a simple system that really works. Comment for those ready, and I'll show you exactly what I follow daily. No pressure, just honest, real results. If if you want access, tickle. If you want access to the digital product I use, starting right now, uh, you'll want to act fast. Comment now, and I'll share how to join before the door closes tonight. You know, everything goes quickly in life, and timing is at utmost key for anything. We're in the digital world. We all know that, right? For those that don't, you're not paying attention because we are in the digital world. Life and systems were designed over almost 100 years ago by Henry Ford in 1925, 24, excuse me. Uh, and he designed them for factory workers for two reasons: control and profit. And he started up with the 40-hour week, the 40-hour years, 40 years to work, and the 40% pension. Well, who who's really only working 40 hours when you're trying to keep a roof over your head if your salary is minuscule? And pensions, they were designed decades ago. However, they weren't designed with the life expectancy that we have now. People weren't living as long. They were living basically 61, 65 ish way back when for many. However, now people are 70, 80s, 90s, even hundreds, low hundreds. People are living till. And job security, forget it. If anybody thinks they have job security, no way, Jose. Not in the least. So, and if you own the business and you have to outlay money all the time, you're bringing in artificial intelligence and you're getting rid of people because it's going to be cheaper for you to run your business. But if you don't have a presence on the internet, your company will fold at some point in time. People need to have a presence. And the reality in 2019, the digital market industry earned $950 million a year. First quarter of 2024, the digital world industry business earned $1.4 billion a day. Now, by 2030, oh, it's going to be outrageous amount of money made. So join the wave. For those that need supplemental income, for example, want to retire and can't because it's not enough money to sustain. People are worried now with pensions and Social Security isn't enough to cut it, but pensions, many people are worried they're going to outlive their pension because if example, if you got $100,000 in a pension with the cost of living and inflation, that's what, $32,000 a year. That doesn't take you very far, and that's only going to last a couple of years. So what happens later when the well is dry? That's why I got involved in doing what I'm doing because I can work from home. I earn 100% profit each and every time. There's no upline, no downline, no middleman, one time small investment, 4 programs to choose from for whatever fits your budget, payment plans, and you can have multiple income streams because if you talk to anybody wealthy, millionaires, they don't have one income stream. No way, Jose. They have a minimum of 7 plus. When I joined, I purchased the program that offered me startup with 4 income streams. Now I have 6. So, but you can start with any number and you can scale up. There's no overhead, no monthly expenses, and everything's all included training. And guess what? I get to work from home, the beach, the pool, wherever, whenever. And that to me made financial sense because I determine my income, not some boss that could tell me to go take a hike when he or she feels like it. That's reality. So I'm not pushing it on anyone. I'm educating and I'm certified now to mentor anyone. And if somebody joins with me, I'm here to help you along with 53,000 other members and no charge for that. That's all included. And if you miss a training, there's replays. So it's at your convenience. And I only work a couple hours a day. That's it. When I feel like it. For example, the last time I was live, usually on Monday through Friday on TikTok, Tuesdays and Fridays on YouTube. So I was busy and doing more training because something I'm going to be coming out with within the very near future of another opportunity that might even be in a better fit for somebody's budget. But I won't go into it now until it's all ready and I'm ready to launch it, which will be within the next few weeks because I have been working on it, in addition to still what I'm doing. It's all part of it because I'm building more income streams for myself and also something creating for people to have multiple income streams, not one. Because in the 60s, 50s, I should say, you get away with one income that supported the home. Mommy used to stay home and clean and cook and, do the laundry. And daddy would go out to work, bring home the bacon, right? Today, 2 incomes are hard to cover a household now. And in a lot of cases, they need 3 just to survive. I mean, look at the grocery store costs. Holy moly. It blows me away every time I go shopping and I look in the bag and go, what the heck did I get? That costs $250. Are you kidding? Gas, utilities, you name it is but and then if you're on Social Security, how much they increase that? A percent, maybe 1.5%, or a big whoop was what? Just shy 2% the last hike, but the expenses went up 5 times more than that. So what was that, an appeaser? Anyway, I'm getting off onto a tangent, but that's why I do what I'm doing, and it works. And not just me, many, many, many. There's thousands of us worldwide. It's global. And guess what? I don't have to bug anyone, call, email, because it's fully automated 24/7 worldwide. It goes all over the world and it's automated. It's business in a box. Plug in, connect the dots, and on you're starting out, you're in business. If you can copy, paste, post, you own a cell phone and Wi-Fi, and you're scrolling on TikTok and all these platforms anyway, why not earn money for it? You got recurring bills. Why not have recurring income too? So, anyway, I'm going to get ready to cook dinner, but I want to end with this quote. The best time to build security wasn't yesterday, it's today. Let's get started. Does anybody have any questions for me? Losing my voice too. But if you have a question, feel free to ask. Otherwise, go to my site at Holly Pring Daily Pay and put in your email. It costs you nothing. I don't bother anyone. If you have a question, email me from the site and let me know what your questions are, and I'll personally answer them. And if you need a one-on-one Zoom, I'll schedule and set that up for you. So you can shoot away with any of your questions. And you'll also get an invite to our next free webinar, which, oh my gosh, is amazing. And hear from real stories, real people, and why it works so well. So it's up to you. But anyway, that would be free. No strings. I don't bug anyone. And you can unsubscribe anytime you want. So that's how confident I am in the business I do, along with 50 something thousand others. So if nobody has a question, I'm going to hop off. And I want to wish everyone a blessed, healthy, and safe weekend. Hopefully, you're all doing something and you have time freedom, because that's what I got back now. Do what I want when I want. That's the part I love. But um, questions, shoot me an email. Otherwise, be blessed. Have a safe weekend. And, think about it. And if you know of anyone that this would benefit, you know, feel free to share the information, send them to my site, or you can go on my site and watch a zillion posts. I have tons of posts on YouTube and TikTok. And there's a lot of valuable information in there, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to watch them. But in the meantime, I want to thank all for, hey, Mad Dog, I see you. You behave yourself. Your timing is too late. I'm hopping off now. But seriously, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And I will be back Monday, 5:45 p.m. ish. I'm always running a few minutes late, but it's life. And guess what? I can. So in the meantime, what is it? What is it on YouTube? YouTube, I do more of longer videos. They're free. You can go to my site. I don't even know what it is, the address. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on one channel to another, but um, I, you know, I do videos, numerous videos, informative, and check them out. Um, not, I see you, Mad Dog, but check out the videos because I answer a lot of questions, and many of them I go into the pros and cons of all different kinds of online programs and truths. Not, I don't like, I'm not, I'm 73. I don't like to BS anything because that's, that's who I am. I'd rather be honest, because if you're honest about something, you don't have to worry. When you BS and lie, hmm, you you got him to answer to as well. No thanks. Mm-mm. But anyway, YouTube and TikTok. TikTok, I do a lot more in the shorts, little cute, uh, but informative videos. But YouTube, I do longer, a little bit longer. Some are 5, some are 2, some are 10 minutes. They vary, but very in depth. So if you have any questions, just go to Holly Pring and you'll find me. Yeah, it's not hard. I don't even remember. I think it's 8942 or something like that. But anyway, check them out, make comments. And I just want to wish all a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all again, hopefully, on Monday. And hopefully your weather's better than ours has been. It was yucky today. Storms, thundering. Yes. Anyway, take care. Be blessed. Good night, Daryl. Bye bye. Figure out how to turn this off. Okay, figure it out. Okay. As I told you, I'm not techie. It's okay. Take care.